Okay, this is my take on adding a super to my tan hive. So I'm going to start with undrawn comb on the outside 3 frames. And on the 4th one, I'm going to put some drawn comb from last year. And then in the center 2, I'm going to put in some of the babies and the eggs and stuff from the first box. And I had to fix this box because the frames were falling down, and my wood, when I put it together, is still wet, and sometimes it bows out and gets distorted. So I got to remove the insulation box and the top feeder. And I've already had this apart, but I'm just put it back together because I decided to make a video. Because there's so many bees in here, I need to do something. Now the first frame here doesn't have much on it. So I would say there's 2 frames that there's not too many bees on. The rest of them are pretty well covered. And these 2nd and 3rd frame, when I look down in there, you can actually see eggs in all the different holes. Not every one, but a lot of them. It's better on this other side. See, there's eggs, and the bees are in the way, of course. But there's actually eggs in each one of these little cells. Which means in a couple more days, these are going to be a bunch of more bees popping out. So, I figured it's time to give them some more space. Plus, I can't sit around and watch them too long. I always get in here and mess around with them. And again and again and again anyway. So, here's the eggs. This frame has the same thing. It has a bunch of eggs in the cells. So I'm going to leave them here on the very bottom. And this frame, I believe, had the queen on it. She's a marked queen from last year with the white dot. So she may be moving up here, but it's going to be in the same hive body. So she can move back wherever she wants to be. But these frames have drawn comb, eggs, and larvae, and drone cells, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to move them up top. I'm going to try and keep them over top of the other ones that are going to be on the bottom, and so they'll be in the same like tunnel of heat or tower of heat. And they'll have comb right next to them, so hopefully they'll have even more place to lay. And I'll try and leave them alone for at least a week. Hard for me to leave them be. And so now we're going to shift over these 2 frames of eggs, and I'm going to put 1 frame of drawn comb on the outside of the cluster. Those last 2 frames are kind of honey and sugar storage, so that way they have some room to lay eggs on that side also if they want. And this side we're going to put in 2 layers of 2 frames of eggs. We're going to put a drawn comb on that side, which would be the outside edge. And then we're going to put this other frame of drawn comb that they really didn't do much to. Empty, that was already in there. I'm going to put that back. We'll have 2 frames of drawn comb on one side, 1 frame of drawn comb on the other side. And then up top, they'll have a bunch of undrawn comb, 3 on the outside of each side, and then 1 on each side of the cluster of drawn comb. We gotta put it all back together. Lining this up is impossible with one hand. And of course I'm going to tape all this back up after I put the camera away. This is the top cover. I'm not using any ventilation on this one. It's an experiment to see if they thrive any better without any vents. I'm leaving the feeder on top, kind of block up the hole. It also clogs or collects moisture sometimes underneath the cover. So that might be a way of collecting moisture. And And I'm going to put all the insulation back on this top box, because that's part of the experiment on this one, is they have insulation all year round, and see if that helps in any way making the bees do anything better. So no ventilation and insulation on the top, and all the joints are going to be taped. That way we can test it throughout the year, winter, summer, and see if that makes any difference on the hive. And that is it for the tan hive. Have a nice day.